things we want to increase are the number of connections. If you have 2 business connections, that's going to limit you. If you have 15,000 business connections, obviously we're not going to be personal friends with all of them, but that's going to be better than 2 connections, generally speaking.
Talking about hitting the gas, in your book you mentioned something that you call the accelerate equation. Can you talk to us about what it means and how small business owners can, start applying that today in their businesses?
Absolutely. So as I was writing my book, I realized, okay, I've written about all these strategies, but there really needs to be like an overarching theme that ties the whole book together. And I actually realized that it was already there. I just hadn't really defined it or, pointed it out and just made it very explicit. And I realized that the main theme of the book was business acceleration through genuine connection. So I just, as soon as it hit me, it was like, it was so obvious. It's not like there were 5, choices on the table. It was like, that's it. And it just resonated with how I was trying to do business and network and things like that, use LinkedIn and everything. And so I put that into the book and then, expanded the introduction and made sure it just kind of was explicit throughout the book. But being a science teacher and also being a visual learner, I just thought to myself, wouldn't it be amazing if there was some visual aspect to this main theme so that people such as myself, visual learners, would be more easily able to just grasp it, be a little bit more concrete in their minds, a little more memorable, and hopefully more actionable as a result. And so I just started thinking about the term acceleration is a physics term, and there's an equation that goes with it that kind of describes what acceleration is. And so I thought, well, what if my acceleration had an equation that went along with it? So I just started thinking about, okay, what are things that would really impact this this genuine connection that leads to acceleration? And so it was really 4 things, and it's 2 things that we want to try to increase and 2 things that we want to try to decrease. If you read the book, you can see the equation, it'll be a little more helpful. But the things we want to increase are the number of connections. If you have 2 business connections, that's going to limit you. If you have 15,000 business connections, obviously we're not going to be personal friends with all of them, but that's going to be better than 2 connections, generally speaking. So we do want to increase the number of connections that we have. The next thing we want to increase is what I'm calling the level of felt connection with people. We can only have close relationships with so many people. I think it's somewhere in the like 200 person range. Once we start to get beyond that, they very quickly become acquaintances and just people. You just don't have enough time to have meaningful, deep relationships with, that many people. And so the reason for the term felt relationship is because it is possible on a platform like LinkedIn, for example, to build something where people feel like they know you. They start to feel like they know, like, and trust you because of the content that you're putting out. And so while it's not possible to have close mutual relationships with 15,000 people, you can have 15,000 people feel like they know you.
Right.
And so what the result of that is, a lot of times when I go to a networking event where maybe there's some people that I'm meeting in person for the first time that we've been connected on LinkedIn for a while, almost with across the board, the number one thing I hear is, I feel like I know you, right? So that means it's working. That's a good thing. And yes, I want to, if I can, to develop that relationship, get to know them more, things like that. But if we're growing the number of connections, we also need to be growing the felt relationship that people can have with us, that they feel like they know us as a business owner, and things like that.